I can't believe no one is talking about this AI node in n8n. The summarization chain allows you to summarize text in 3 different types of methods: map, reduce, refine, as well as stuff. And each one gives you a completely different level of control. Most people rely on a generic AI agent for summaries, which can work, and I've used it personally. But why use a general purpose tool when n8n literally gives you a node designed specifically for high quality summarization? Well, in today's video, what we're going to be doing is walking through 6 different examples in n8n, showing you exactly how the summarization methods work, which settings matter, and when to specifically use them. And at the very end of this lesson, you'll be able to plug this in directly into your advanced AI orchestration workflows. Also, really quick, before we do jump into this, I do have a free school community I would love to have you guys a part of. What we're trying to do is increase our skills on AI or data, and then apply those skills, whether you are a freelancer trying to jump into a data analyst or data science role, or trying to optimize your business for efficiencies. Check out the link down below. All right, let's start this video. Really quick, before we jump into some of the examples in n8n, I wanted to go over a little bit of the technical side of the summarization chain, just because there's a little bit to understand. Now, I don't always make these type of slides before we jump into these n8n workflows. In fact, historically, I've put text. So if you do enjoy these a little bit better, let me know, because I'm trying to improve the videos. But with that being said, let's jump into it. So what essentially is the summarization chain? Well, this allows you to summarize documents with some sort of chunking strategy. You can either use JSON, you could use binary, or document loader. And there's currently 3 different summarization techniques found in n8n, and this is within the options settings of the node. So the first one that we have, this is by default. So if you don't select it, n8n's automatically going to choose map reduce. So map reduce works really great with very long documents. So essentially how this works is you chunk up a document similar to how like you would prep it to store within a vector database. On this side, LM will summarize each chunk individually, which is called mapping. And then all the chunk summaries, they're going to be compressed into one master summary at the very end. So imagine a document turns into 100 different chunks. Each of those chunks then have a summary. So you have 100 summaries in total. At the very end, what we're going to do is we're going to take those 100 summaries. We're going to take a look at it. What's the summary of all these 100? And we go to one summary at the very end. So again, imagine we have a 50,000 text Word document that is broken down into 100 individual summaries. If that document is 100 chunks, and then those summaries are reviewed, and then we have one final summary at the very end. And this is map reduce, which is really, really popular. Now, something that's a little bit better than map reduce at times is going to be refine. So this is when text has to keep its nuance. So imagine you're doing something on the legal side of things. Refine's really popular over there. So how this works is you start off with one chunk, and then you have your second chunk, and your summary is going to be updated every time you have a new chunk within your document. So this is much slower than MapReduce. So MapReduce is a faster strategy because we take all of our chunks. Then what we do is we review those chunks and have summaries individually for all those chunks and then summarize it at the very end. Whereas Refine, we keep updating our summary. And why this works is a lot of the times in papers or within documents, you get a good understanding of what's going on initially within the document. Typically, a paper will have an introduction explaining what's going to go on within this sort of document or book. And that's why Refine works, because you get that initial idea. And then as you go through the text, oh, we should add this into the summary. Oh, we should add this into the summary. And it's also why it is quite slow in comparison to MapReduce. Lastly, what you have is something called stuff. So this is what some people use when there's a short amount of text, and this is text that is less than a model's token limit. So essentially what you do with stuff is you feed all the text into a large language model at once. So take the full text, you send it to the LLM, and then you have a summary here at the very end. Now, this is a bit of a more expensive approach to it, and models are going to perform bad with larger context windows. So while context windows have been expanding, there's been papers talking about how you don't want to send a ton of information into large language models because they still miss some of the nuance, especially in the middle. Large language models work really great at data at the very Large language models work really great with data at the top as well as the bottom, but context is missed in the middle of much larger documents. So if you have something that's small, stuff will work. If you have a little bit of a larger document, you're going to want to either use refine or map reduce. So this is a little bit of our background. Let's jump now into n8n and actually do this and take a look at all three of these, as well as some different ways that we could load in our data. So let's get you started with the summarization chain. Our first few examples are just going to use the default map reduce. After, we'll jump into each of the individual methods, how you can find them, and kind of the different options for those. But first, what we can do is go over here and just type in summarize. And you'll see over here, we see the summarization chain. So by default, it has data to summarize, a chunking strategy, which if you define the simple, it's going to be over here. If you go to advanced, it's going to be taken away. We'll cover all that here in a second. And what I care a lot about is our options. So you go over here to options, and it says summarization method and prompts. So what you can do is choose either map reduced, and you can see that we have individual summary prompt as well as the final prompt to combine. We have refine, which has a subsequent refine prompt as well as our initial prompt. And then we have stuff, which is over here. And again, we'll go through each of these here at the very end, but that is what is available. You can also find this through just going into over here, going into AI. I think this is a good approach to start learning about some of the different nodes, and we have videos on a lot of these, but you go over here to summarization chain, it says transform text into a concise summary. So pretty basic how to find that. Let's close this out and let's go through our first example. So what we're going to do is just take a look at using JSON. I just have a manual workflow trigger and then edit fields. What I did, and I'll just expand this out for you guys. I just asked ChatGPT for a fictitious information about a company. So completely made this up. It's a bunch of gibberish, but just felt like throwing in here something kind of short. Now, based off of what I showed you guys, this would probably be best for stuff because generally, like, this is so small, I wouldn't really focus on the other two methods, but we're just going through this anyways. So we have this over here. And then what we have is our summarization chain. Now, what we have by default over here is JSON. So it says summarize the JSON data coming into this node from the previous one. So I just have this JSON based off this edit fields, and just to show you over here, this will populate on there. And then what we have next is our chunking strategy. So for this first one, we're going to just keep our chunking directly in over here. I'm just going to keep 1,000 characters per chunk. And then what we have next is a chunk overlap. And if you guys do want to learn a lot more about chunking, I have a full video talking about it here on the channel. But this is just like the overlap of characters between each chunk. So for example, we have chunk number 1, which is 1,000 characters. And then chunk number 2 is going to start with 200 of the characters from the previous chunk. So you get step and you can see company summary. So again, we just have this over here. And all you got to do is just have this over here as in the JSON for the company summary. And then we're just going to execute this step and it's going to summarize this. Now it's going to obviously do that default method of map reduce. So it's going to take a little bit longer, but you'll see over here, we have summarized it. And again, we can prompt this as well to talk about how we want our summary, but it took all this text and it condensed it down just slightly on this because there wasn't a lot of text. Now, our other thing we have to do over here is add in a large language model. So you can just go over here and add whichever one you want. I'm just using OpenAI. I typically use those for these videos because it's probably one of the most popular ones. I do use Claude occasionally as well. So like Sonnet 4.5, but I need to make that video still. I've been using it in n8n, but I just haven't had a chance to make that video, but don't worry, it's coming. Okay, so our second example now is a binary file. Now this was expensive for me to run, so I'm just gonna do this once for you guys. So I've used this also in a RAG video, but essentially this is a PDF based around research off of cards produced in Malta. You can see it's 35 pages and it's a lot longer. You probably want to stuff all of this into a large language model. So what we're going to do is go over here and just submit it through a form. So this is a form submission. All I'm doing is allowing for a binary file. So just add in form elements. I just called this data file. This is fine, although I just want it to be a SEPT1. And then what we did is essentially went into this summarization chain. Again, I didn't mess with the chunking strategy over here. And then when I use the node input for a binary file, you just have to define what that binary file is. when I bring this in, the name of the binary file is data because of that field name. So that's why I have over here data. So make sure it's 1-to-1 across the board. And then based off of this document, which again is 35 pages, just talking about cards from Malta, the summary of this said, Malta cigarette cards began as pocket stiffeners and evolved in the late 19th century into illustrated labeled cards, hand-colored portraits giving away mainly black and white photos, plain backs. Scholars dispute the earliest issues set, and then production peaked before World War I, and then stopped in 1914. Again, this is some good context. Group 1 issuers. And then Group H, the second Golden Age, and largely with the World War II. And again, talks a little bit more. Many survive without backs, making set reconstruction difficult. The World Index is the principal reference, the author flags, and it just talks a little bit more across the board. So pretty amazing that I was able to summarize this whole 35-page document. And again, you can prompt this, and we'll cover prompts a little bit later. All right, our third is just going to be an example of using a document loader. So what we have over here is our summarization chain. And then if we go over here, we say use document loader. So it says use a loader subnode with more configuration options. So when we choose that, you can see all of our options are gone. Over here, when we used basic binary, we had the chunking strategy over here. And if we go up above as well, we had that chunking strategy. However, when we use a document loader, our chunking strategy is now built into our data loader. So we go over here and you can specify your type of data, whether you want to use JSON or binary. Again, you have your mode. You can load all input data or load specific data, a data format. So if you're using a PDF, for example, I would just document that you're using a PDF over here. And then you have options to do simple text splitting, which is what we did above, the 1,000 and 200. So if you go over here, right, 1,200, that's simple. But I would recommend that you don't use simple. You go over here to custom. And then what you can do is attach this over here. So there's different text splitter options. I prefer using the recursive character text splitter, but I've also covered character as well as token splitter. They have their merits, but recursive text splitter typically performs the best when you're working with a document that has different headings and sections. So I'd recommend using that. I have the chunk size 1,000, and then you could choose a chunk overlap. Now you can change the chunk size if you want. Let's say, hey, I want to do 800 and do a chunk overlap of 200. You have that option as well. And then if you want to split code, you have this over here. Obviously there's no code in this document, so I wouldn't really worry about that too much. But this is another option. This allows for better chunking strategies if you want to use the default data loader. So if you're using the summarization chain and you're already putting in the effort to use that, I would recommend just using the default data loader over here, unless you're just using simple. Because again, we go over here and we go to our say one more time, 3, 2, 1. And I would recommend using the default data loader unless you're specifically using stuff, which I think that's a little bit of an overkill there. But if you're using MapReduce, especially, like, use your default data loader. So that's just the basic part, whether if you want to use a JSON coming in or a binary file, or if you want to use binary or JSON with this document loader. And again, we've covered a little bit here on the channel already, talking about our different types of text splitters, which also use the default data loader in that video. So now what I want to do is kind of show you the different approaches over here. And we're going to start off with MapReduce. So by default, when you use this and there's no strategy chosen, it's going to use MapReduce. That's what the n8n docs specifically say. However, if you want to have a little bit more control over it, you just go over here to summarization and you can see MapReduce recommended. So as I mentioned in the slides, what you have is you have individual summaries, and then at the very end, all of these individual summaries are condensed into one final summary. So by default, what's really nice is n8n has already built out the prompts for each of these. So you can see for this one, for the individual summaries, it says write a concise summary of the following. It has the text from that chunk, and then it says concise summary. And then the final prompt to combine, it says write a concise summary of the following text, and then concise summary. So the prompt, and it also mentions it, right? The prompt to combine individual summaries, the prompt to summarize an individual document or chunk. So You have the option to separate these. You have the option to really customize these as you specifically want. Maybe out the gate, you start with the default version. And then if you aren't finding this isn't working best, you can go over here and tweak it as needed. But you could also change the summarization method. So let's say you're working on a large document and you're just finding it's missing the smaller details. Then you might want to test out refine. As I mentioned, refine's a lot of a slower process. So I would first start with MapReduce. If MapReduce isn't performing well for your document, then I would move into specifically refine. So going into refine, you can see we actually have two prompts once again. This one's a little bit a beefy one. It says your job is to produce a final summary. We've provided existing summary up to a certain point. We have the opportunity to refine the existing summary only if needed with some more context below. We have our text. Given a new context, refine the original summary. If the context isn't useful, return the original summary. So really awesome that we have this in over here rather than you have to build it out each time. And then we have our initial prompt. So the prompt for the first document or chunk, write a concise summary of the following text, concise summary. So this is the same as above, but this allows us to constantly refine what that specific summary is, as I showed you guys on the slides. So that is our second option, which is refine. And again, you just go over here and choose refine. Lastly, we have stuff. So if we go back to our first example where we just had, this very basic summary over here of a company, which is like a small paragraph, then you would want to use stuff. And just going down over here, and this is what I see a lot of people use AI agents for. It says write a concise summary of the following and has that concise summary on that approach. And essentially that's it for this video. So just to kind of recap, we have the three different methods. If you are working with a larger document, you want to either use MapReduce or refine. I would recommend that you start with MapReduce, just as n8n says. Refine is going to take a bit longer to go through. So if MapReduce doesn't work correctly, then I'd work with refine, unless you already know you're going to be working with something that's really, really important for the smaller details like legal stuff. I would use if you don't have a lot to work with, but it does its job. Again, I highly suggest if you're working on a specific domain and use case over and over again, update these prompts over here because they're generic out of the box, and sure, they work, but it's always best to customize this for your specific use case. Again, it's really nice though that the n8n team has already built out the framework for you guys to just expand that out. You have three different options over here to work with. So starting off with very basic JSON, this uses simple chunking, binary data as well. And then if you want to really expand this out, which I would recommend, unless you're using stuff, I would add in a document loader, add in a recursive character text splitter, because even like with testing with RAG, you typically get better results. Just make sure that your document is specifically structured. If it's not structured and you don't have different types of paragraph breaks or titles and things like that, then you would want to use possibly like a simple or a specific character or tokens for each of your chunks. Otherwise, if there's some sort of formatting, use this recursive character text splitter. It's going to get you the best results overall. And again, recommend watching this video talking about text splitting, because if you're not familiar with it, that's a skill that you need to pick up, especially before you use something like a summarization chain. Anyways, hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're grinding out a bunch of n8n videos right now. We have well over 50 into our full n8n playlist / course. And I feel like there's at least 50 more n8n videos we can push out into that playlist, especially as they build out more features. And also, if you want to join our school community, this JSON file will be in there, so you can download that and run it with this tutorial. And yeah, a lot of other people in there interested in n8n and kind of improving their skills. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in another video.